Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday night live Stampin' tutorial with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Sheridan, Oregon in the United States. Let's see who's on. I hope everyone had a good week. So let's see who all is here. We'll wait a couple minutes for people to jump in. And while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and make hello, Tracy. I'm going to go ahead and make the template for the treat box that we're going to make tonight because I never got the template made. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real fast, just so I have it ready for us. And then, not that it's a difficult template for sure. While people are jumping on, I will get that ready. I'm also going to get my tools where I need them, so I'm not reaching for them. Hello, Laura. Hope everybody had a good day. Thanks, Tracy. Thank you so much. It's very exciting. Hello, Cynthia. So glad you guys could join me. I'm just quickly, I hope I didn't put my corner rounder away. Is it in this bucket? It's not in my bucket. Had the grandkids in the studio yesterday and today, and I'm not sure what happened to my corner rounder that I had out. That might be a problem. I didn't think to look and see what little man did with it. Or I don't remember putting it away, but well, I'm pretty sure I didn't put it away because I never put those things away when I'm preparing for a live. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm quickly making the template for our box. Because I didn't get to that. I had, like I said, kids yesterday. And then I had Nathan today. And it looks like I'll probably have Nathan the rest of the week. It doesn't look like he'll be able to go back to school. He has an eye infection. That's a viral eye infection, so I can't do anything for him. And it's highly contagious, so he's not going to be able to go to school. Okay, got that done. So as you can see, hello, Jennifer. As you can see right here in front of me, we are using the Excellent Eggs bundle tonight, and I have one card and one 3D project for you, a treat box. So we are going to get started here, and I did not find the corner rounder. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. I wish I knew where the kids put my corner rounder. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a card, and then we'll do our 3D project last. The Excellent Eggs bundle, this is at a good price point. You'll find it in the mini catalog, and because it doesn't have a lot of dies or a lot of stamps, it's fairly inexpensive. I can't tell you, yeah, so bad for Nathan. I can't tell you the price point because I didn't write that down, but you can find that in the mini catalog. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to get started. Okay, there's 8 dies and 7 stamps. And we're going to use most of both parts. So let's get started with our card. And for that, for ink colors, where you have basic gray for the basic stamping, and then sweet sorbet if you want to stamp that on the inside, or you could use the basic gray. Okay, so we've got a card base in Daffodil Delight, and this is a standard A2 card size. So 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the center on the long side at 4.25. We've got that. This card is going to be landscape. I've got a piece of the Be Mine Designer Series paper, and all that stuff just fell down. So this is the Be Mine Designer paper, and most people would look at it and say, oh, that's just for Valentine's Day, but hey, we're going to use it for Easter today. So that's that. You get 12 sheets of 6 double-sided designs. So this piece of the Designer Series paper is 4 by 5.25, and I am just going to go ahead and put this right on the card. And this card actually comes from a sketch by Marissa Alvarez. It's Shortcut Card Sketch number 10. And I've rotated the design in case you want to check her out. She's kitchentablestamper.com. All right, so we've got that. And then I've got a piece of Granny Apple Green, and this piece is 1.25 by 4.75. And I've run that through the embossing folder with the Fern 3D embossing folder, just to give that a little bit of texture. So we've got that to add to our card. And then we have a piece of Petal Pink, and this is 1/2 inch by 4.75. I'm going to go ahead and add these to my card base. Okay, I'm just using liquid glue on this, the Tombow, in my glue press. And I'm just trying to line these up so that I have a mostly even border on the 3 sides, bottom and the 2 sides there. And then I'm going to add my Petal Pink strip. And I'm going to place this, maybe 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch above that Granny Apple Green strip. Okay. And then we're going to do some stamping. So let me grab some basic white scrap here. And you will need a piece of basic white that is 2 5/8 by, let's see, what is this? I've already stamped and colored this to save us a bunch of time. So 4 inches by 2 5/8 is what this is, this piece of basic white. And I stamped in basic gray 2 of the eggs from the Excellent Eggs stamp set. So we've got that. We're going to just set that aside. Let's go ahead and stamp that egg in the, you didn't need to watch me color all 3, so I'm basically stamping this. And we need the chocolate bunny. And we're going to stamp that in basic gray right here. And the last thing we need, I didn't grab we need the pecan pie ink pad as well. So, and that's for our sentiment. So we're going to take the Thinking of You sentiment, and we're we're going to ink that up. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's do this. Let's just do it this way. Okay, so we've got that. And then once you stamp this piece, all of your stamping is pretty much done for this card. Okay, so we're going to color in this chocolate bunny. Well, we're going to make this a chocolate bunny. At the moment, it's not chocolate, but it will be. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat here. I'm going to start with my dark pecan pie. Okay, I'm just going to color in the ear sections here and a little bit on these artist lines right here on this little bunny. Okay, and then we're going to take the light pecan pie. Come on. Man, I'm struggling with these tonight. Okay, and then we're just going to fill in the rest of that bunny. Just to make him look like a little chocolate bunny. I'm going to try and avoid the eye and the nose. I'm just going to color that up. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Tracy. $43 for this bundle in US dollars. That's pretty good. And they're less expensive. So, there we go. All right. Then I'm going to take my light. So that was the light and dark pecan pie. I'm going to take the dark petal pink is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to put a little pink on his nose right there. All right. Okay. Then, oh, I messed up I got to restamp that. Sorry, you guys. I messed up my sentiment. And I smeared the ink. Apparently, I touched it too quickly. There we go. Let's try that again. We don't want that. I'll have plenty of time to dry. Okay, so then we would, these have coordinating dies. So you would take this coordinating die and this coordinating die and cut those out. Okay. So, through the magic of television, I've already done that. And set that aside. Here's our egg. I've started coloring it already to save us some time. And here's our little chocolate bunny. Okay, let's go ahead and finish coloring our egg. So we're going to take Daffodil Delight, light and dark here. This, by the way, what I have colored so far is the light and dark Granny Apple Green. So now I'm going to take the dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to fill in these little open areas here. And then I'm going to go back with my light Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to color in the rest of this little open area here, trying to avoid some of the stamping areas there. It shouldn't bleed, but I just want to make sure. Sometimes with the lighter colors, we can have some issues. So I'm just going to avoid it as much as I can just to ensure that I don't have any bleed. Okay. I'm going to go back with my dark Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to throw in a little along the edges just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension and make it look like it's round. And then I'll go back with my light daffodil and I'll just blend that out. Okay. And that is all of our Daffodil Delight for that. Now we're going to take our Pool Party Light and Dark. And I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm going to go in with these little scallopy looking sections here. And color those in with the dark. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put in a little bit of dark here and here. And then I'm going to go back with my light Pool Party down here and just color in the rest of that white space. And then I'm going to come in here and blend out the dark into the center. Okay, and then to finish this egg off, I'm going to take the Pool Party, and this is the light Pool Party still. I'm just going to gently go around these decorative pieces and fill that in. I like to kind of outline that, and then I can go back in that larger space with my brush tip, which this brush tip is not in great shape. So let's go back. I think I need to pull out a new light. This one's getting a little bit on the dry side. Okay, so we've got that. And there is our egg. Okay, so I colored these using light and dark petal pink, light and dark sweet sorbet, and then this is the Pool Party. Get these so you can see them. Okay, this is the Pool Party Light and Dark, and then this is Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Daffodil Delight for this egg. Okay, so those are finished and ready to go, and that just sped up our process a bit. Okay, so we are going to take now, we've got a piece of Pool Party, and I've cut this with the third largest of the deckled rectangles right here, this one. Okay, the third largest. And we're going to add this to our deckled rectangle. Let's go ahead and put that down. Oh, thanks, Tracy. I'm glad you like those. I did my first card that I did in muted colors. And then I thought, oh, I want some brighter eggs. So I went back and did this card, completely different from the first one. And I like it. I'll show you the first card I made though. Okay, so we're going to get out some Stampin' Dimensionals here, and I'm pretty much down to my drags. So we're going to pop this up. Like so. The edges of those dimensionals. Don't ever throw those away. Those are good, usable pieces. Okay, and then we're going to put this egg right here in the center. And then I'm going to add this to my card. Yep. Oh, wow, I have never had my Stampin' Seal do that to my cardstock. Stampin' Seal Plus, but not the regular Stampin' Seal. This is some older Pool Party cardstock that I had on hand, so. Okay, so then we're just going to center this up as best we can. Okay, almost done. I'm going to take some mini dimensionals on our bunny. And I'm just going to put a dimensional on his ears and his bum. And remove those backings. And I did that because he's going to hang over on this egg. And I've already popped up this egg. So I just need to pop up the back of my bunny. Okay. And finally, we're going to take that sentiment that we stamped, and it's dried. And I'm going to do the fussy cutting of the sentiment. So I always say I like to take my pencil and draw around this so I can get an idea of how I want to cut it before I start putting scissors to paper. So I can always erase if I don't like what I've done, but once I start cutting, it's all over. So I'm just going to rough cut that out, set that piece aside, and then I'm going to start up here, come around, and I'm going to try to cut out a good share of that pencil. I got my pencil in kind of close though, so I'll have to erase, but it's okay. I like the white erasers. I think they do a better job of erasing the pencil, so I don't worry about the pencil marks and having to erase. A good quality eraser is important in the craft room. So we're just going to go around this. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is really raining at the moment. I can hear it on the roof. Okay, almost done here. Last little bit. And there we go. Okay, so there's our sentiment. Now let's bring in that eraser. I like the Pentel high polymer erasers, the white ones, because they erase cleanly and they don't leave all that black pencil lead smearing behind. Okay, so there we are. Got that. I'm going to turn that over. And because this is pretty thin, and I'm going to put this over here, so I am not going to put any dimensionals on past the thinking, and then I'm just going to glue this. So I need some pretty thin pieces. I'm going to take my mini dimensionals, and I'm going to cut some of those in half. And that way I can put them down and not have to worry about them showing. So we'll do that. Give those a good press on there so when I pull the backings off, they don't peel up. And then we'll take just a little bit of liquid glue here and add that to the other side. And then just going to set this down here like so. Okay. And then to finish this off on the outside, we're going to take some of the Hearts and Flowers, adhesive backed Hearts and Flowers. And we're going to add some of these. Okay. So let's get our Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to start with a small petal pink. I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to take a large sweet sorbet. And I'm going to stick that down in here. And then a large Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to put that right over here. Okay, so there's our card front. I hope you like that. I'm just going to focus here. I'll bring that up to the camera real quick. All right, the last thing we need to do, actually, I forgot to do this part. I'm going to take our Wink of Stella, and I'm going to do a little bit of these areas just to give them a little bit of glitz. Okay, and that is the outside of our card. Now for the inside of our card, I've taken the second largest deckled rectangle, and I've cut that in basic white. I stamped that bunny in basic gray, used a little bit of Flirty Flamingo, and then I'm going to take the There's No Bunny Like You and some Sweet Sorbet ink. And I'm just going to stamp that right there. Okay, give that just a second to dry. And then we'll add this to the inside of our card. A little bit of Stampin' Seal. Okay, there's the inside and the outside. And then I've taken the envelope and I stamped the chocolate bunny. I used early espresso on the envelope. And then I took some more of that same Be Mine Designer Series paper and did the flap, so that we have a coordinated stamp or card and envelope. Okay, I hope you like that. I'm glad you guys like that. Hello, Lynette. I had so much fun with it. I actually made this card today while I had Nathan. He let me get a little bit of work done. So we've got that. Okay, let's move on to our 3D project. Oh, but before we do that, here is, I promised you a look at the first card that I made. This is that. And I'll show you these pieces, not these ones in particular that Rick Rack we're using on our 3D. And then this is the other stamp that's in that stamp set. And I took just the next size up egg, from this one. There's three eggs, so small, medium, and large. I cut the large egg in petal pink, and then I stamped and colored this, and then I cut it with the smallest die. And this is from the Wild Ferns dies. I love those dies for these rectangles. And then we've got a little bit of Azure Afternoon Ribbon. And that is the first card that I made in a lot more muted colors. This designer series paper comes from the Hot Air Balloon Suite. So that's that. So compared to this one, this one's a lot brighter. I guess it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for soft pastels or you're looking for some brighter colors. But those are the cards. Let's set those aside and let's get on with the 3D project. Okay, so for my 3D project, when I very first saw this Excellent Eggs bundle, it made me think of the Easter Bunny stamp set that's in the new catalog, and I wanted to combine the two stamp sets in some way. So I've come up with this treat packaging to do just that. So we're using the Easter Bunny stamp set, and we're going to be using this bunny. And then we're using the Excellent Egg dies. So you're going to need a piece of fresh freesia that is 4 inches by 4.5. I cut 2 of the largest egg dies in fresh freesia, one for the front, one for the back. And I also cut a piece of the hot air balloon paper in the fresh freesia pattern. Then I took the rickrack die, or zigzag, whatever you want to call it. We always called this rickrack. And this cuts these out entirely. So I cut one in Balmy Blue, one in Flirty Flamingo, and one in Lemon Lolly. Okay. And then I'm bringing in the Garden Meadow dies, which, you guys, I've used these dies quite frequently. Let me see if I can find them. I know I got to grab the right tub. I got to grab the right tub in order for it to work. Okay, so the Garden Meadow dies. And I am using this piece right here. So this is one of those that's an edgelet. And this is actually, I cut this originally in Granny Apple Green. And I just took a piece. I knew I needed a piece that would fit across the bottom of my egg. So this one, it didn't really need to be more than 2.5 inches, I think, something like that. But I just took a 3-inch piece. And I cut it in Granny Apple Green, and I thought it looked too bright. So I went back and I took a piece of basic white, my blending brush, and my Granny Apple Green, and I just blended a little bit of ink onto my basic white. And then I took this and I cut it. And how did I cut it? That's a good question. I think it goes like this. Yeah, just like this. Okay. So when you lay that on your piece of basic white, I left the bottom edge, and then it cuts the top edge, not the bottom edge. Okay, so then I have this piece. That's how I got it. Garden Meadow dies. These dies are great. You can do hills, grass, bushes, lots of things. Okay. So we've got our pieces. Let's go ahead and, well, we need to do a little stamping. So we need our bunny. So we need some basic white. And what did I just do with that piece of basic white I had? Okay, well, let's grab another piece. Got plenty of that laying around. Grab our bunny. And again, I'm using basic gray. And this bunny's from the Easter Bunny stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp that down. This has a very minimal coloring. Oh, and I put those grays away that I needed. Didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so this one uses light gray granite. And I didn't do very much here. I took and put a little bit of gray granite underneath the hands here where there would be a shadow. A little bit along the belly here. A little bit along the feet. I'm going to put just a titch there. And a little bit here where the artist has drawn some lines. And that is it for the gray granite. I'm going to take the Azure Afternoon. This is the light. And I'm just going to dot in some eye color here. Literally just dotting. This is a very thin area, and if you don't want it to bleed, just tap the tip to the paper and pull it back up. And then we need the light petal pink. I'm going to color in those ears. And I'm going to put just a little bit on the cheeks. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my color lifter, which, oh, it's right there beside me. Where is that thing? Right here. If it were a snake, it would have bit me. And I'm just going to very gently go over those gray lines, just to blend them out a bit. Ah, Sherry on? Hello, Sherry. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I forgot, I'm going to blend those cheeks out a bit. And I forgot the pads of her feet. Okay. Now this particular image does not coordinate with the Easter Bunny punch, so we have to fussy cut it. It's a pretty easy image to fussy cut. So let's just leave a little bit of white border. And go around. I turn the paper with my left hand, open and close the scissors with my right. By leaving the white border, if my cuts aren't exactly even, the eye will draw to the artist line, and nobody will really notice the imperfections in my fussy cutting. Okay, so we've got that. And that. Okay, and there's our little bunny. We're ready to go. Now let's bring in our scoring tool. And this is a really easy score. So we're going to start on the 4-inch side. And we're going to score at 1 inch each side. Turn it 1 inch. And then I'm going to put it on the 4.5-inch side, and I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. Rotate 180 and score at 1 3/4. Okay. And by doing it that way, if my paper is just a little bit off, everything will still be the perfect amount of distance. So it'll be perfectly symmetrical. That's what I need to say. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to trim. I like to trim on the back side. And I just burnished all the score lines. I'm going to start on the long side. And I'm going to cut up on the first score line to the inside of the rectangle. I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side. And then I'm going to flip it 180. And again, I'm going to cut up to the first horizontal score line on both sides of that rectangle. And then because our box is going to be so small, these will way overlap. And you could do that if you want to, but that's too much bulk for me. So I'm going to fold my long pieces in. I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Put that edge up there. I'm going to put the folded edge at the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to push that longer edge in again, the 1/2 inch mark. You can hand trim these. They don't have to be perfect. Okay. It really doesn't matter. And then on these little tabs, I'm going to angle cut to the outside of each side. So from the inside to the out, inside to the outer edge. And I'm going to do that on all 4 tabs. This is a super simple box to put together. Okay, so we've got all those. Now, we need to corner round. I don't know where that corner rounder went to, unless it got shoved up here, which I don't see it. Yeah. I'm just going to take my 3/4 inch circle punch here. That's not going to work. I need to go the other direction. Okay, well, let's see. I know there's a way to do that. I'm just going to trim it. It doesn't really matter. This isn't really going to be seen. So I'm just going to hand round those. If you have a corner rounder handy, just use your corner rounder, but we don't sell a corner rounder, and this is a way to get around it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be on the inside covered. So nobody's going to be looking to see how close you are on that. I'm going to take our tear and tape. I can use my envelope punch board for a corner rounder, but it's put away somewhere. I have a Creative Memories corner rounder too, but it's in the pocket of one of my stamp bags. Okay, what did I do with my... wow, it's a rough night. I had my little ruler here a second ago to help me do this. When you put your adhesive down, you're putting them on the 4 tabs, and you want to put it closest to the score line, because that's going to make it so your box doesn't gap. And it is tear and tape, so you can tear it with your nail. I just typically don't. Okay, then I like to take your pick tool top here, burnish that down, lift all 4 up at the same time. And okay, so then I'm going to take the little tabs here, and I'm going to take the score mark and bring it up to the cut edge and square that up and press it in. And then I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, bringing that scored edge up to the cut edge, making sure that that's all rounded. And if you get a little piece of this, oh my word, take your paper snips and just snip that off. Or if it doesn't bother you, leave it. It bothers me, so I have to snip it off. Again, just bringing up that folded edge to the cut edge, finishing that off. And then here is our little treat box. Okay, and then we'll take our pieces here of our egg. I'm going to add my Designer Series paper egg to one of my cardstock fresh freesia eggs. I'm going to do my best to line that up perfectly. I wasn't so perfect on my first one. Looks like I didn't do too bad on this one. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's go ahead and add our rick rack or zigzags. And what did I do with my sample? Oh, here it is. I'm looking in the wrong thing. Okay, so we're going to put our balmy blue. Oh, well, we are if I can find it. Good grief. I just had them all three. Does anybody see that balmy blue? Where did it go? Where did it go? That's crazy. Oh, here's one. It's okay, I had an extra one. How did I know that balmy blue was going to run away? Here we go. And just so you can see, here's that Granny Apple Green one I cut in the cardstock. And when you put that against the fresh freesia, I just thought it was too bright. So that's why we went with the ink blended piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to do balmy blue. And these are going to go clear crossed, and I don't need to, I'm going to cut off some. So I'm not going to put glue all the way to the edge. And we're just going to put this here like so. Let me grab my silicone mat just in case. And I'm going to put this up here just below halfway and put that down. And then I'm going to add Flirty Flamingo. Okay. I'm going to add that one in here. Press that down. And then we're going to add the lemon lolly. And the Tombow glue will hold this down great. Won't have to worry about that coming off. Okay. Finger's just a tiny bit sticky from pulling off that little glue thing. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a little press there. Make sure that's all well and good. Then I'll flip this over. And that lemon lolly's not quite dry. Okay. Give that a good press. And then we're just going to take our paper snips and trim that off at the edge of the egg. like so. Okay, now it's perfectly sized for our egg. And then we're going to come in with our, oh, we've got to wait on this till we put it on. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this to our box. Before we do that, hang on. We're going to take the back side of our egg, and with a little fresh freesia ink, I'm going to take this large bunny egg here, and I'm going to ink that up, and then I'm going to stamp that down. Just for a little bit of decoration on the back. You don't have to do this. You could leave your back perfectly plain, or you could decorate it like you did the front. But I thought this was a good alternative to that. So let's take our box and we're going to add our pieces. Okay, so I'm going to add the glue to my box rather than to my egg. And I'm going to try and avoid the two corners, the two outside corners, because our egg isn't going to quite cover it. Now I'm going to set my egg, I'm going to set my box up. I'm going to put my egg down on the table, and I'm going to try to hold that upright. And then I'm going to press that in with both my fingers on both sides. Okay. And then I'll lay that down and burnish it with my bone folder. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat that on the back side, making sure that I miss those corners. It's more critical on the back side than it is the front side. Okay. So I'm just going to, again, set that down, try to, and I did it again. I should have punched my holes before I put that together, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's let that dry for just a minute. And so far, this is what we have. Okay. But we need to put some holes up here for our ribbon. And if I'd have been thinking, I would have laid those two eggs back to back and cut them at the same time, but I wasn't. Oops. So I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile because I'm going through 3 layers of, 2 layers of cardstock and a layer of Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to pinch those together like so. And then I'm going to take my little Crop-A-Dile and poke a little hole. Okay. Now I'm good. And if you don't have a Crop-A-Dile, you can get those on Amazon or really at any big box craft store. Okay. So we've got that now. Let's go ahead and add our piece here. We're going to add our grass. All right, so we're going to add this to here. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue along this bottom edge right here. So now I do want to put glue on my corners, but I want to be careful on how high I go. So I'm going to put my grass down flat against the bottom. Set that right there on the table. Give it a good press. Okay, and then it sticks over from where I want. So I took this. You don't have to. You could leave this like this if you wanted. But I didn't like it, so I'm just going to take my paper snips in here and I'm going to round this off with my paper snips. But I should make sure it's dry first so it doesn't move on me. Yeah. Okay, and then just going to snip that off, and then it follows the curve of my egg. And I didn't let that dry enough. I didn't let my glue dry enough before I started snipping. I would recommend you wait. But for the sake of the video and time, we're just going to go for it and make it work. Again, if it isn't perfect, nobody's going to be looking. So now I'm going to add my bunny in here, like so, and hope I didn't get that glue too high. So I want to be able to get underneath those bushes. Let's just lift this little bush up right here and right here, and get my bunny in here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there, and then I'm going to take a dimensional, and I'm going to stick it up here on his head. Remove that backing. And then we're going to fuss that down in there. Okay, put that bunny in there. Get it how we want it. And then we'll give it a press. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here, and where that's open, I'm just going to put in a little bit of glue here and press that down. And hold it for a second. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Press that down. Hold it for a second. And then we're almost done here. So now we've got that set. Let's grab some Azure Afternoon ribbon. Hang on just a second. I think I'll put it away. I was a little too efficient this afternoon picking up. Okay, so we're going to take our Azure Afternoon. This is part of the sheer ribbon combo pack. You get Lemon Lolly, Azure Afternoon, and Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath. I always want to call it bubble gum. I have to stop and think. Bubble Bath. Okay, so I'm just going to poke that through that hole through the front hole. Oh, wait a minute. You probably want to know what fits in here. Well, you can put 3 of the Ghirardelli dark chocolates if you want, or if you have Easter candy. So 3 Ghirardelli chocolates, or I happen to have some Hershey's eggs and bunnies here. So you can put a bunny and about 3 eggs, and if you really wanted to make it look Eastery, you could put some shreds in there. Okay, so we've got our Easter candy, and then we're going to close this in the back, or run that through the back take that out about that far. And then I'm just going to loop, swoop, tuck, and pull without twisting my ribbons. And then hold on to the center and adjust my center part. Fluff up that bow just a tiny bit. Take my ribbon scissors and trim that off. And the last thing we need to do is put on our sentiment. So let's grab a piece of that scrap white. And we need the Azure Afternoon ink. Whoops. Azure Afternoon. And we need the No Bunny. There's no bunny like you again. And I'm going to clean that off because it has Sweet Sorbet on it. And I really don't want to mix those two colors. Okay, so then we're going to take this and stamp this. And then we'll take the Wild Fern die, which I thought I already had cut, but apparently I don't. Okay, let's grab that. These Wild Fern dies. And hopefully I put that in the right spot. And it's the second one of these that we're using. And no, it isn't. It's the first. No, okay. I altered this. I know I did. No, I used the smallest one right here. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and cut this off because we're going to have to alter this a little bit. It's just a little bit too big for my liking. So we're going to run this through the mini. So we've got that. We're going to get our plates. Put that on. Grab just a little bit of mint tape so that it doesn't go anywhere. And we're going to put that farther to the left of the sentiment there and leave more at the right open. And I'm just going to run this through. Okay. I'm going to put that back down. And I'm going to take my mint tape. I'm going to move this down and line up those holes. And with these holes, it's really easy to do this because this die will just fall right in those holes, just like that. They just fall in. So just a little bit. I need to move that up another little bit right there. Super simple. And then I don't need to run the whole thing through, so I'm just going to put my plate just past where I need it to cut. And then I have shortened that die cut to fit the sentiment how I need it. Okay? So we went from this size to this size. Okay? So let's go ahead and get these out of the way. And I'm just going to take a glue dot for this. And I'm going to stick it in the upper left-hand corner there. Just a little glue dot. And then I'm going to stick this right up here underneath my ribbon and angle it so that the ribbon doesn't cover my sentiment. And the final touch for this box is to take the flat adhesive back pearls. I thought these looked like little Easter eggs. So we're just going to take one of those and stick it up here in the corner, like so. And there is our little box. Okay. I hope you like that. They're fairly simple to make. Okay. All right. So those are our projects. Let me bring that back in. Put this down. And there we are. I hope you enjoyed those. We'll all be praying for Karen for her knee surgery tomorrow. She has a quick and easier recovery than she did previously. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I will see you back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And at this moment, I am planning to use the new online exclusive Latte Love bundle. There's actually a suite and it's called A Little Bit of Latte or something. What is it called? Hang on. A Little Latte is what the suite is called, but the bundle is called Latte Love. So that's my plan for next week at this time. I'll see you again. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all. And I want to give all my customers a great big thank you. All of you who watch my videos, who support me. I couldn't be where I am today without all of your love and support. And I do appreciate it truly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Good night.